Hey friends, it's Emily from burlapkitchen.com where I'm all about simplicity. Today we're going to be doing a simple project using a Dollar Tree sign and some letters I got on clearance. So I'm actually going to work with the back of this sign. You could do that and make it reversible so you could use it in the fall and at Christmas. And what I did was I just took some patching plaster and patched up those holes there where the staples were. And now I'm going to take some stain and just stain over it. So when you put the patching plaster in, you just want to apply it with your finger, then sand over it and give it a little dry, and then go ahead and put your stain on. So I have 5 popsicle sticks here, and I am going to stain all of those. And then I'm going to just clean up my mess and make sure everything is nice and dry before moving on. That looks pretty good. So now we're going to come in with some chalk paint, and I'm also going to use some petroleum jelly, and I'm just going to wipe that random places all over my board. And then we're going to go ahead and we are going to paint the chalk paint white over the board. Now when you do this, you do not have to be neat. I'm trying to get it kind of clumpy on purpose because I think it's going to add to this look. I'm kind of new at trying this technique, so you'll have to bear with me as I try it, but I think it turned out pretty good for my first. I want to say this is actually my second time I tried this. So for only doing this 2 times, it did turn out pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to give that a nice dry, and then I have these a J and a Y that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. They were on clearance for like 37 cents, something like that. Anytime you see letters like this at a store on clearance that you could write joy, love, home, anything fun like that, I would pick them up and keep them in your craft stash. So I'm just going to stain those letters. I should have stained those with the other stuff, but I actually forgot about them. And now I'm going to go ahead and just wipe off that stain and make sure it's nice and dry. Okay, now I'm going to come in with some red paint. This is actually chalk paint. I get questions all the time. How do you make your chalk paint? I honestly cannot remember. I know it was plaster of Paris and water that you mixed in somehow, but I cannot remember the amount. So just Google it and it should bring something up. So I'm just painting. I did the same thing. I put the petroleum jelly down and painted over them. I'm going to give this 2, maybe 3 coats here just till it gets dark enough, bright enough I should say, the paint, because I wanted it a little bit brighter for this so it would pop against the white. And I'm just touching up anything where I got maybe too much come off with the petroleum jelly. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm taking this little tool. A lot of people ask me, what is this tool called? I actually think it's called a scraper. If you know, let me know in the comments. I know they use it for drywall, for applying drywall mud. So if you know what the actual name is for that tool, just let me know in the comments. I know they're super cheap. You can pick them up at any hardware store in with the drywall mud. Now I'm just going to wipe these off. And I'm going to come back to my board. I actually wanted it to be a little bit whiter, so I'm just going to put some petroleum jelly over those bare spots, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply a second coat of paint. Just because I really wanted it a little bit whiter. Sometimes what I would recommend doing is doing all your staining the night before. I sometimes can't do that when I'm filming these projects. So I would do it the night before. That way your stain doesn't mix in with your paint, and it won't get dark like that. It will stay nice and bright white. So I'm just going to give this a quick dry. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my little scraper and scrape over top of it. I'm just working on top of some parchment paper, wax paper, whatever you have on hand, anything cheap that you can get your hands on, just so I don't make a mess on my table. Although I do have something down in case I do make a mess on my table, but I go through so many crafts, I have to change it so many times. So the less mess, the better. So I'm just wiping everything off. And then we're going to come in here with the popsicle sticks, and we're going to make a star. So I recommend laying your star out first before you start gluing it, just so it looks right. And guys, let me know what you think, but how cute would these be as ornaments on your Christmas tree, these little stars? I think they'd be super cute. I think white ones would look adorable, especially if you're still into the buffalo check and you're doing a buffalo check tree. I think they would look so cute. So you could do your joy sign this way, but I'm actually going to do mine up and down because I want it as more of a leaner. So I think it would look really cute sitting on the front porch leaning against something. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue that down. And you guys know me, I always have trouble getting things straight. So I tried to get this as straight as I could. I wish I would have moved the star just a little bit closer to the Y, but for me, that's pretty good. So I was just holding that sign up just to make sure I could get it all even. And then I'm just going to press it down. And then I'm going to come in. This is just little pieces of garland. If you guys ever see garland on clearance, definitely pick it up because you can cut it off and use it for fun projects like this. And one thing of garland will go a long way when you're doing these kind of crafts. Now I have just a little piece of ribbon that I just cut. And I'm just tying a bow, a knot right in the middle with some twine. And then I went ahead, I think I must have edited that out, but I actually dovetailed the ends of the ribbon and then I just glued it down. And that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this fun Christmas project. For more great ideas just like this one, please visit burlapkitchen.com. Thank you.